Okay, thank you very much. Well, my name is Kristen. I'm the CEO, and I'm here with Mike Anderson, who is our head of physical maintenance and also a co-founder of the company and is the one who's been working with the Cloud9, League of Legends, Valorant, and Overwatch teams for the last now 5+ years.
5 years with League of Legends, and then gradually was onboarded with Overwatch, and then finally Valorant for the last couple seasons.
Mike also was in South Korea a few weeks ago, getting the players and coaches, manager all settled and back in their routine. So I know that was a great experience. And for any of you who joined us last week with Jack Etienne from South Korea, you've already had a little preview of FitGamer. But we're excited to be working with the NECC and to be supporting all of you and your schools and dialing in your performance training, providing and resources that your programs can use. And so I think I have with me Strawberry and Bach. Strawberry James is our senior product manager. Bach runs our coaching operations. He's also the person who traveled with the Indian League them at the So happy to have them here as well, and they'll be available for questions and answers at the end. And also very happy to have Daniel Sportello from Utica with us, who will be our guest speaker. And Daniel has really just dove in headfirst to all of this performance, health and well-being training, and has been rolling out FitGamer with his athletes over the last year and working with us. We are coaching their teams. Daniel's in our coach development program. So a lot of great things going on with Utica. So welcome, Daniel. And yeah, I think we're just to kick things off, we're going to share a video that we created some time ago. So some of the players you're going to see in this have rotated off of the Cloud9 League of Legends team, but you'll see some familiar faces and features Jack Etienne and gives a good overview of FitGamer.
How has FitGamer changed and impacted Cloud9? I mean, honestly,
Cloud9, North America's best international team, are headed back to Worlds.
The difference between the teams that actually win or lose are the teams that are going to actually have the stamina and still have like a sharp mind through that event. Prior to having FitGamer's exercise routines that we've been doing, my players around Game 5 would get tired and lose. What's happened we've been doing, we are now, when we get to this Game 5 situations, we're the team on stage that has energy. We're the team on stage actually is sharp. And the FitGamer app helps you not only track on your everyday workouts, but we travel a lot. So while we're traveling, we can kind of pin what they're doing, how our managers are doing, they can report early and address them and fix them. And our training routines, training up on both, has resulted in us lifting trophies at the end of the day. And for me, that's what actually matters.
Great, thanks. So there are a number of videos in our YouTube channel that feature interviews with various players from Cloud9, Overwatch, and League of Legends that can give you and system. And it would be great if you can drop into the chat. I'd just love to know in terms of who's on. Are you players? Are you coaches? And how we tailor the conversation today. If you don't mind just dropping that into the chat. And I am going to pull up a presentation that is a workshop that we've shared internationally and here in the US that goes through the FitGamer 5 Pillars of Health to give you an idea of what it is that FitGamer is all about and how we have been deploying this with Cloud9, with other colleges, and with other gamers in our community. So the first of these 5 pillars is physical maintenance, and this system was developed by Mike Anderson and Holden McRae, both of whom had been working with Red Bull High Performance, supporting Cloud9. And movement is really the key feature of physical maintenance, allocating a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes a day to focus on physical movement. Any activity is great, whether it's walking or hiking, just keeping your body in motion. We have quick drills, and we'll get into our app, which supports all of these 5 pillars, but quick drills are essential for just staying, keeping the blood flowing while you're playing, and keeping your brain fresh, which at the core of everything we do is all about cognitive performance. Our workouts and what we've been doing with Cloud9 and what is incorporated into our app are short, high-intensity workouts, which benefit both the brain and the body. So we're not looking for people to have a 300-pound deadlift or to be able to run the 50-yard dash in a certain amount of time. What we do is very specifically targeted at optimizing cognitive performance. It is functional fitness, which requires coordination, mental focus, and part of the benefit and what the Cloud9 players have commented on is the change that they've experienced mentally from these workouts. And that is all scientific. It is through the positive chemicals that are released through the workouts. And while Cloud9 originally did not work out on game days, there are players like Fudge, their League of Legends top laner, who does work out on game days. That is part of his game day routine. And gradually the team has been doing more and more workouts, which started off 1 day a week, then went to 2, 3. They're now working out 5 days a week. We also incorporate yoga with Cloud9 and in the app to promote flexibility, to cultivate focus and concentration, to teach breath awareness and breathing techniques, which can be incredibly useful inside the game, before the game, in between matches, and very important, just given the sedentary nature of the sport, for posture and flexibility. This is a video that we don't have to watch now, but I do encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. There are some entertaining video conversations with Jack and Fudge. Mental conditioning is our second pillar. So why does mental conditioning matter? At Cloud9, they have a mental performance coach. He has worked with Navy SEALs. He is at every single workout. He is with the team 5 days a week, helping them navigate situations and focusing on their mental performance. We have an esports psychologist in our app that provides tips, mental conditioning techniques, things to help you during your game to offset tilt, to manage team dynamics, to help handle wins and losses and regulate emotions. But as you know, the muscle of esports is the brain, and it does require training. And by paying attention to your mental performance, it enhances communication with teammates. It helps you to make better decisions. One of the Cloud9 Overwatch players, their tank, Hadi, talked about how after he had been doing FitGMR for 3 to 4 months, he noticed that just the mental clarity that he had achieved and the better decision making that he was making in game. His, I think, exact words were that he didn't second guess his decisions as much as he used to. So a lot of benefits that come from the practices that we provide in the app. Self-reflection is a part of the app, just noticing your emotional state at a given time. Breathing techniques, understanding that the breath can be used in different ways to activate the nervous system, to calm the nervous system, to combat stress. And meditation. Learning to train the brain to rest and to be intentional about it improves focus, mental well-being, and is important to have a practice. Fudge wakes up and meditates for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. And He also has commented on how when he gets to the Riot Studios before a match, they get their makeup done and then he goes off into a room somewhere and meditates just to draw his attention in to be able to focus better during his matches. The third pillar, nutrition. Our entire nutrition pillar is also designed around cognitive performance and how to sustain your brain during. So the importance of protein, the importance of fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, eating whole foods versus processed foods. All of this does contribute to your sustained energy. And what Jack spoke to in the opening video in terms of stamina, being able to compete game after game, how you are fueling your brain does contribute to your ability to have sustained energy and clear thinking throughout your matches. We put an emphasis on sugar in our app and tracking sugar, because at the end of the day, sugar has kind of found its way into all of our foods, and understanding how much sugar you're taking in and trying to modify that to reduce sugar has lots of benefits. You know, it does also prevent you from having crashes and creating more of a balanced energy system during matches. The same goes for hydration. And I think this is becoming more mainstream, but just the importance of staying hydrated, not overhydrating, drinking when you're thirsty, and having a target. What we have in the app is 30% of your body weight is a good target. Smart snacking, having snacks on hand so that they are not something that's going to throw you into a sugar high and then a sugar low, being prepared, and moderating your caffeine. We advocate for having less than 250 grams of caffeine on a given day. And this also not only helps with sleep, but also helps with sustained energy. The fourth pillar, and I know I'm going through this, we can share with NECC. I want to make sure that we have time for questions and also for Daniel to share his experience. So I am kind of going through this at a quick pace. But sleep is something that we sometimes take for granted and don't recognize that the brain requires sleep to process and organize information, and a lack of sleep is associated with a feeling of brain fog or mental clutter. So if you are practicing a new technique or a new strategy in game and you're not sleeping, your brain really isn't having the chance to process and retain what you're learning. So sleep is very important. There is no one size fits all recommendation for sleep. We do recommend that people tune into how much rest you feel you need, whether it's, somewhere in that 7 to 10 hour range, and trying to go to sleep and wake up at the same time. This does impact your energy, how you feel throughout the day, and how you think. Sleep quality. This is something that we track in the app, or ask you to track, in terms of becoming aware of what is throwing your sleep out of whack and trying to create a sleep routine that is conducive to consistent sleep. We talked a bit already about having a consistent bedtime, but also having some sort of sleep routine. It's difficult to go from gaming and being kind of on an adrenaline rush, adrenaline high, to just automatically flip off the switch and say, now I'm going to sleep. So having a sleep routine can help the body unwind. We have tools for that in the app. And paying attention to sleep hygiene, the importance of light in the morning. Fudge wakes up after he meditates. He goes for a 1 hour walk around the Cloud9 house neighborhood without his phone to take in sun, to help set his circadian rhythm, and just to establish that, mindset for the day. Temperature, also having a cool room, clean, uncluttered space. All these things contribute to positive sleep. These aren't things that we expect, to change overnight. It is a journey, but good to pay attention and develop an awareness. And at the end of the day, a lot of what we do at FitGamer is not to be perfect or not to, all of a sudden have all of these healthy habits wrangled in within a 1-week time frame, but it's a work in process, and it is all about developing awareness. For lifestyle, we're focusing on having balanced, preventing burnout, and also making sure that we have a full life experience. We also know that stepping away from our passion, stepping away from an area of focus and doing something else, actually, when you come back to your game, you will be better. It's the nature of the brain looking to connect to something else. It allows you to come back to what you were doing originally with a new perspective. We emphasize hobbies, doing something just to change the brain, flip the switch to something new, and also spending time outdoors. There's so much science now that has come out regarding the benefits of nature, even if it's a walk. You're doing it probably in your walk to classes between buildings, that counts. But a lot of psychological and physical benefits to spending time outside and having connections. We are, as humans, we benefit from social connections within our app. We ask you to reflect on your connections in an effort to help become aware of what connections are serving you and what maybe are not, in order to just recognize how different interactions make us feel. We also look to challenge ourselves, to try new things. There's certainly benefit to the brain to tap into untapped areas of the brain. When you try something new, you release unique chemicals. It inspires you. This was a day that we spent outside with various members of the Cloud9 team who had never been paddleboarding before, some of them never having been out in the ocean in this way. And people were pretty fired up and exhilarated afterwards. So that is an overview of the FitGamer 5 pillars of health. And I'd like to pause briefly just to see if there are any immediate questions. If there are, you can drop them into the chat. And otherwise, I'd like to, with the NECC, all of the schools in the program this year have the opportunity to download the FitGamer app, to create a team dashboard. The coaches, managers can create team dashboards. This is all provided to you by NECC this year. And we really want you to make the most of that experience. We're here to support you. Sent out to the directors a FitGamer welcome package that has instructions on how to get into the app, how to create a team dashboard. And I will just flip through a couple of these pages quickly to make sure that you are aware that this exists. So the FitGamer Performance app, there are metrics. This is what I was speaking of in the last presentation that help to keep track of the 5 pillars of health. And there's also a report, a game performance report. You get a game readiness score. The app is connected to Fitbit, Apple Watch, Oura Ring if you choose to make that connection, which can help enter some of the data around sleep and physical movement. You get a score, your team gets a score. There are prizes, one of which is a grand prize of being able to be sent as a team to LA to go to Riot Studios to meet Jack, and whether you want to go to a League of Legends game or a Valorant game, that's up to you, and meet those players. So we'll be tracking with the NECC team scores, average team FitGamer scores, and participation in the app. There's a ton of content from, an esports psychologist, from nutritionists. One university that we work with, one of the players said, I feel like I have my own nutrition coach. I feel like I have all these different coaches now in my pocket through this app. There's a ton of support. There are yoga routines, there's meditation, there's sleep videos to help fall asleep, and everything has been created from a gaming perspective in terms of protecting wrists, protecting hands, focusing on posture, focusing on the things as an esports athlete that you need. And the programming is set, and it's based on what we do with Cloud9. So there are workouts, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, an optional one on Saturday. There's yoga on Tuesday. There's mental conditioning and meditation on Thursday, nutrition on Saturday, and a go outside and play video on Sunday. So you all you have to do is pick up the app and watch the video that shows up on a given day. The team dashboard, which is available for coaches and directors, gives a coach or a director a window into their players' performance in the FitGMR app, how players are doing on their metrics, what their game readiness score is, how are my players faring on game day. That picks up their nutrition, their sleep, how they are reflecting that they feel on a given day, and also provides a journal feature that is between the player and the coach, where players can put in comments on any of their metrics or on their game performance, and the coach gets that notification and is able to respond. A valuable tool when we aren't necessarily together in person but need to reach out for help or support. We also have a FitGMR training program, and this is primarily designed for the program directors or for coaches, and goes through in more detail the presentation, aspects of the presentation I just presented to you, to provide more understanding of why is this important for esports? How does this relate to brain health, to cognitive performance, and is just a good resource. We have tips and tricks. This is all available in this presentation, which I think Jacob has already shared, but we can share again. And this is what I wanted to really get to right now, is how to sign up. We'll place these links in the chat for anyone interested, but sign up by clicking on this link. You can sign up for the system. There are codes to be where there are videos on if you need help or support creating your dashboard. This is the FitGMR training program that I mentioned with the videos. You get a certificate. Once you get that certificate, we'll send you a badge. And all of these great rewards for players and active in the app. So getting, whether it's a Mana Pro account, which comes with, this is a debit card that's been just for gamers and esport athletes. It comes with $500 in perks and rewards for directors creating their programs. There's also Riot Energy Drinks. One of our sponsors will ship cases of Riot Energy Drinks, a healthy drink, to the schools, and also boot camps from FitGMR, etc., that are available as rewards. And what I meant, this experience with Cloud9 at the end of the season, I know Jack is really excited about this and hosting the winning team. Within this YouTube channel, our customer service, James Strawberry, who's on here, anyone can reach out to Strawberry as well, or Bach, or me, or FitMike, if you have any questions. And so with that, I am going to stop and hand the call over to Daniel. Dan has been living this with his players in real time and can share with you what's worked, what he's found as challenges, how he's overcome those challenges, and how he's really created this high performance culture, very similar to the culture that Jack Etienne has created at Cloud9. So, Daniel, handing it over to you, and I'll also take a look in the chat while I'm listening and respond to some of the questions I see there.
Perfect. First, I want to do a mic check. Is my mic okay?
You're good?
Sound good? All right, perfect. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be able to talk to everybody, and I know everything that Kristen did is certainly a lot, and that it's always going to be a lot to take in, especially when you're trying to make this at for you administrators out there. It's certainly been a challenge, as she said, it is challenging. But we look at the little wins, and ironically enough, I wanted to talk to me the other day, and I see her in the chat. So hi, Mom. Didn't expect to see you here, but something that you got to take away from doing a program like FitGMR, bringing it into esports, is the little wins. When you're a college student, you have a lot of responsibilities, even more so if you're a college student that has to work. And being healthy doesn't always mean being, completely physically fit or skinny or whatever the case is. It's about doing things like making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure that you're practicing self-care for your body, doing things that, you enjoy in your downtime, not putting harmful chemicals in your body like alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, whatever the case is. Those are little wins for your program. And I know in the college setting, that's a difficult one to win. So we count all those little wins here. Starting with FitGMR, we have kind of started slow, I guess you can say. But again, I count that as a win. So this semester was our first semester fully rolling out the physical fitness plan. And every student on the varsity level here at Utica Esports has the FitGMR app, and we utilize the dashboard. We utilize the workouts and even things like the nutrition and the sleep part of the app, which are critical to the success here at Utica. I mean, if you look at what we had last semester in the spring semester compared to this semester, you can just look at our teams and how they're succeeding tenfold from. And I do thank FitGMR for every aspect of that, whether it's the physical fitness aspect or even the coaching services that we're going through right now with the CDP or the boot camps that we've been through. I could talk about it all day. But the important part is we're starting slow because when it comes to being it's not a race by any means. It is a marathon. You want to FitGMR will talk about that all day. If you go in head first and think, okay, I'm going to completely change my life around, I'm going to work out every day, have a perfect diet, get perfect sleep right off the bat the next day, it's not going to happen. You're more than likely going to burn yourself out, and your players need to understand that. Not only do your players need to understand that, but your coaches need to understand that. The administrators need to understand that. It is just the little wins at the end of the day. So here at Utica, we have pretty much implemented into all of our varsity practice schedules a time window where the players will either work out through the FitGMR app or do light cardio. Light cardio is kind of the more common one because it's easy to do light cardio before a match. You don't typically want to go bench press 500 pounds right before a match. You're going to be shaky. You're probably not going to be in your best shape for the match if you are bench pressing 500 pounds right before a match. So light cardio is definitely kind of the popular one here at Utica that we see a lot. I know our Valorant team and our Call of Duty team, they're doing light cardio sessions 3 times a week before practice, which has been amazing to see. And it's just another avenue to get the teams together and bond and synergize and motivate each other and kind of go through the hardships together too. Because another thing is a lot of college students, especially now, if they're gamers, they're not used to this, point blank. I mean, working out is not the common thing in esports, but it's important that programs like mine and those who are invested in FitGMR as well are doing this, because the bottom line is everybody invested in collegiate esports right now wants to send this to the next level. We want to see esports at the top. We want to be standing side by side with traditional sports. If you don't think that way, well, I question that a little bit. So This is one of the most crucial steps, in my opinion. And what Kristen is doing at FitGamer is industry changing, and we need it. For you administrators out there, we need this. This is how we make that change happen. And I think if we can get enough schools in line with doing this, and programs more than just Utica's can show like, hey, FitGamer is totally 180 in the program at next level. I have plenty more. If you guys have any questions about anything, I have pictures. I'm going to have a video coming up of our guys doing workouts at the Dome here at Utica, which is one of our big pride and joys here is the Dome. It's got inside turf and workout areas and stuff like that. So we're gonna have lots of good footage regarding fit. I'd even like to get some student interviews in there just to show what their side and their experience is as the player, because I do think it's important for the players to understand as well, what FitGamer is and what they do and how it's affected them. But I can tell you with certainty, anybody who has taken our FitGamer program seriously has completely spun their life around in 8 weeks. And that's important to me, because one part of my program is I'm not just trying to take people in and win national titles and be the best esports player. I'm actually trying to create and develop better human beings here as well, and helping these young adults develop better habits that are going to carry with them for the rest of their lives and even impact the longevity of their esports career. That's what's important at the end of the day, because we need people to be doing that thing in order to get to the next level. So I guess that's what I have to say for now. If anybody has anything they'd like to include on that, or if they have any questions about anything.
Daniel, it's Mike.
Yeah.
And
hi, Mike.
one thing I wanted to highlight really specifically with what you were talking about is you don't have to, nor should you, do all of this stuff at once, right? Like from my
Correct.
experience, I met Jack and the iteration of the League of Legends team back when Sneaky was the mid laner, and we didn't do all of it at once. Like literally, I showed up on Wednesday mornings and did one workout. Now Jack had already influenced the guys to be, starting out by doing walks. For example, their program, whenever Jack has a meeting with a player, like before MSI or at the very end of each split, they'll do kind of a 20-minute walking. So that's one way that you as players can chat about a game. Like a VOD review does not have to be done specifically. Like after you do your VOD review and you've got more to discuss, that can be done on a short walk around campus. Things don't need to be formalized in every single facet of the 5 pillars. And then just gradually, I'll speak quickly in terms of physical maintenance, is the workout started getting more serious when players could, managers and coaches, because it's important that it's players, managers, and coaches. And things started to get real, right? Like when someone started to find success, I'll say one of the coaches who had never worked out in his life, he showed up basically right off the plane and jumped into a workout, and he really never looked back. But it was all about the physical stuff first. And then it wasn't for 2 years that he started talking about the diet part. Right? Like it took him 2 solid years to start addressing his diet, but he was ready for when it was time, he was ready for it. Now, by looking at our YouTube videos, you'll see the handful of players that have benefited a lot, like Fudge in League of Legends and Hottie in Overwatch, and then a bunch of other players and coaches in different ways. But I just want to highlight that while it will be great to deal with all of the 5 pillars at some point along the way, just know that you kind of pick up things as you go, and you'll start to develop this success to the successful feedback loop. When things start going well, you'll want more, and things are going to start getting better in all ways. So just one important thing to highlight that Daniel has found already in implementing the program this year, and semester to semester, it's going to get better. It's going to get stronger. And when players come in knowing that that's part of,
absolutely.
Yeah. So when, like, for example, when M&S working out, it was like he took advantage of it. He's gotten so much fitter and stronger. And I could go straight down the line with all of these three teams with how the players have benefited in so many ways, again, from all of the five pillars. But keep it up, Daniel, and I look forward to hear some more good news about how things are going.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a big part of that is honestly just the world that we live in today. It's a grind culture, right? People want to see instant results, and people forget that things take time. And honestly, it's a little worse in the esports world too, right? Because in esports, people definitely want to see results a lot like very quickly. So when they don't happen quickly, people get a little demoralized in a way. Sometimes they get agitated, whatever the case is. But the bottom line is understanding that it's a marathon is probably the most important part of all of this.
It's not easy for the players who are getting paid to do this and who are on professional teams. It wasn't easy for them to get started. It definitely took that success to the successful feedback loop of them wanting to kind of take it on themselves and take that initiative. But even for Jack, he would say this started at Cloud9. And I think that your point of just that grind culture and time, we are also time constrained, and our days are so chock full that some of the feedback we often get is, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to fit this in on top of everything else? But once you find where this fits, you start looking forward to it and it just becomes a part of the routine. So at Cloud9, I think Jack might have spoken to this last week. This is built into their schedule. So this is where we are going to be from 10 to 11 a.m. every day. And because it's built into the schedule, I think he said even we don't look at it as like that flexible piece of the schedule where it's like that of that. No, this is as just as important as scrim time. And when you adopt that mentality, you make it a priority. And saying about the five pillars and where to begin, and the fact that different pillars resonate with different humans based on where we're at in our journey. So may really get drawn in, like Hadi, the Overwatch player, loved meditation and yoga. And Fudge has gotten in to start with nutrition. That may be the easiest place to start, but we know if you look at, we call it the web of interconnectivity between these five pillars and how they impact one another, where you don't get a good night's sleep because you're unrested, you crave carbs or sugar. Because you eat sugar, you have the sugar high and then the sugar low, and then you're in a bad mood and you have low energy. So you're from a mental conditioning perspective, you're not motivated to do, something that maybe you otherwise would be. And it kind of goes from there, but all it takes is doing one thing in one pillar to reverse course. Because you go for a walk or you do some Simon Shuffle, just jumping around, your energy moving, and now you've reversed the web. So giving people the flexibility to choose where they want to begin is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as building it into the schedule goes, that is something that we started this semester as well. And people were a little iffy about that at first because, again, it's new and I was kind of expecting that. But one of the teams in specific that comes to mind, I know I started actually hearing them talk about it. And so what they would say is, oh, we can't do it at that time because we got to do our FitGMR workout first. So let's do that. And then after that, I was hearing like, wow, I'm actually feeling a lot better in practice doing light cardio before practice or before the match. So again, little wins and, eventually that way. And that gives us an edge.
Yeah. And you know what? Science has just Edge. One of our partners will be putting out a white paper on some research that they've done of getting athletes' heart rates up before going into a match and the in-game performance benefit to doing that. So the work that they had done, it takes like, I don't know, 4 to 6 minutes or something for a player's heart rate to get to a peak heart rate in game. And so those first 4 minutes, that's when you actually have peak in-game performance, is when you're up at a certain heart rate. And if you're taking 4 to 5 minutes at the beginning of the game, you're actually not at optimum performance throughout the match. Whereas if you do some activity before playing, you actually start off ahead of the curve. So it's interesting that anecdotally you've noticed that.
I don't know how many of you know Christopher, the Overwatch coach for Cloud9, but he goes out for 1 kilometer runs, and he is a runner in the past, and so he's actually pretty good at it. So for him, they have a 10-minute break, and usually that's like bathroom quick snack break, and he can run, you know, a very quick 5-minute 1 kilometer run, and basically it's 3 times around the block, right back in. And he says that when he's on that, he doesn't even have to figure out what he's going to talk about next, because he knows when he has a 4 to 5 minute sprint around the block 3 times, he'll come back in, and he says it's like magic, because I don't have to prepare for these short, you know, talks with the team, because it all comes to me on that 4 to 5 minute run. It's just, it's sort of science and
so we'd love to open it up for questions. We'll definitely make this so that people can start getting into the dashboard, and I'm sure Daniel also will be willing to answer questions for any coaches, directors, players that are out there and getting familiar. Does anyone on the call have? I see Karen Sport, you have your hand up. Are you looking to ask a question? I don't know, Michael, do you want to bring Karen on stage, or Karen, do you want to drop a message in the chat, or does anyone have anything that they'd like to share? Maybe some of you of doing FitGMR on your own and you want to share some of your experience. Great, Karen. I wondered if that was you. I thought it might be. Mike was just saying also that Amon Green from the University of Nebraska Lincoln is currently our #1 in the FitGMR leaderboard. So we'd love for someone else to get involved, and he likes to compete. So I know he watches the leaderboard and sees people coming up in the ranks, and that could be fun too. You also, as part of the team dashboard, there is a global leaderboard, but you also have a team leaderboard, so that among the team you can compete if you want, or just inspire each other, encourage each other, see how each other are doing. And we know from Cloud9 that there's a real benefit of doing things as a group, as a team. And I think Jack has said to us in other conversations that doing this, having this as part of their routine, has brought their team players together in a unique way. You know, when you get a group of people together, having an experience that is outside from their typical, you know, protocol, that is an opportunity for bonding. And it's been, I know from Mike's perspective, really machine, or you know, I know Mike mentioned M&S earlier, and when he first got to the States and was being interviewed after being here for like 2 weeks, the interviewer said, "So you've been in the United States, what is your favorite part?" And he was like, "The workouts." So we thought that was pretty funny. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
I have a comment, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing to the student leaders and administrators out there, that my DMs are open as well. The bottom line, guys, is this is the next level in esports. Okay, the conversations that I have with the administration here at the school, or even just people asking that may not know about esports, they only think about esports in one way. Okay, and that's people who don't participate in health and wellness. But when I explain to them how Utica has this whole program where, health and wellness is our priority and we're doing things completely differently now, and I have my teams, tracking their sleep and things like that. It really opens their eyes. It almost spins the conversation around entirely. So that, again, the bottom line is this is the next level. Take that seriously, and message me if you have any questions or anything like that.
Thank you for that, Daniel, and for being, supportive of the industry. I think at the end of the day, that's one of the best parts about esports is the fact that this is such a new industry and a new sport that everyone really does want to work together to make things better. And, you know, of being in this space. So with that, I think if there aren't any other questions, I think we can leave it. Make sure that we have the material in the Discord, and I did get your email, Conman, so we'll get that out to you directly. And again, feel free to reach out to any questions, and thank you, Michael. And next, if you are a player and your team has not yet set up a dashboard, reach out to me. We'll get you a code. The app is 99 cents a month. But happy to support anyone who even just kind of wants to do that on their own. So, all right. Thank you very much. I'm going to sign off here. Thanks, Daniel.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.